Lots of video games in the modern day means lots of reviews, but often they can be upwards of 10 minutes. So with this series, I want to get right into it and talk about the one very best thing and one very worst thing in games. With that out of the way, let's get into the very best and worst thing in... Oxenfree is undoubtedly not a game for everyone, but it's a game that anyone can gain something from. This is a shorter, supernatural mystery game that really relies on you to fill in the blanks and carry the story. I mean that in both a literal and figurative sense. Oxenfree is about a group of friends that visit a mysterious island. I'm going to keep that summary vague because I don't want to spoil a game that places all its chips on the story, which is really best experienced on a blind playthrough. I also use the word friends lightly because these characters are hard to fit into that box. The gameplay of Oxenfree consists of some puzzle solving, and what is the very best thing in Oxenfree? The dialogue. The bulk of this game's decisions are made through dialogue choices and prompts. These aren't just yes or no questions though, as you have a choice between several answers with blurry morality. In other games, there are usually good and bad choices, but in Oxenfree, the dialogue choices aren't something you can beat, but rather just something you have to do and feel. Thankfully, Oxenfree really focuses on seeing this mechanic through, and it keeps its other elements simple and serviceable. Video games as a medium have opportunities to highlight really interesting stories and character studies with dialogue thanks to player interaction, and I haven't seen this done as well as it's done in Oxenfree. You're unpacking these characters through each dialogue choice you make until you hit that key note of a memory or emotion, and that's what makes this game so special. I found myself unpacking my past, present, and future along with these characters, and your enjoyment is going to be determined by how much you are willing to be a part of the cast, because the truth is, there isn't much else for you if you aren't. The characters outside of the dialogue don't serve to be anything new or special, and the setting, while visually pleasing, isn't all that interesting to explore. However, the very worst thing in Oxenfree is the pacing. Calling out pacing in a game all about its character interactions over a broader story might seem unfair, but it really does impact the game a fair amount. That's not to say the story is bad. It actually works really well to punctuate the character moments, especially in the ending. But the gaps between these story beats seem to interfere with the dialogue moments, and the long walks between important locations noticeably drag, especially on another playthrough, which Oxenfree strongly encourages. Of course, a game like this should have a slower pace, but the way the whole game is structured feels a little uneven at times. In conclusion, Oxenfree isn't a game that will change your life, and it's not the most complex game from a mechanics standpoint either. However, it's the way the characters interact and unpack their connected goals and struggles that guide the player through a very reflective experience. The game is smart in having everything else serve these dialogue choices and interactions, but there are a few hitches in pacing that took me out of the game world on occasion. I came out of Oxenfree understanding myself better, and I think that's something anyone can appreciate. Definitely check out Oxenfree if you haven't yet, and I really can't wait to see what the sequel has in store.